How to start? Well, first of all, it's my second take on doing this. Realized I may have been moderately more inflammatory than I intended. And that's just it. I'm probably one of the few people online who isn't trying to inflame someone's hemorrhoids, whatever. Yeah, in short, I don't give a fuck. Jesus, where to start? That's a good question. Okay, well, here's a good point. I, as many who know me, I'm not a prepper, although a lot of people seem to mistake me as such because of the kind of gear that I carry. What I am is a traveler. Society calls me homeless. They can call me what the fuck they want, so long as it's not late for dinner, I don't give a shit. I have lived in tents. I have lived in sheds. I have lived in cars. Hell, even in a house on occasion. It's kind of neat. And over the last 29 plus years, I've never once considered myself homeless. Just didn't see the point. I always had something to cover my head. Or if I didn't, it's because I decided not to. It was not required. It was a warm day. It was a warm night. Whatever. You get the idea. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do carry a lot of equipment. Hell, I carry more than most groups of 3 travelers combined, truth be told. But it's because I have found that, and I discovered this decades ago actually, that there's 2 kinds of travelers. There's those that like to be comfortable when they're walking, fast and sleek and whatnot, and I totally respect and appreciate those cats. I even envy them on occasion, I'll tell you the truth, because, I mean, on my bicycle with my trailer, I tend to average, 20 miles. Every once in a while I get 35 or 40, and then I sit back kind of stunned, and then I realize how exhausted I am. It's like, yeah, well, of course. But prepper is probably the one thing, including homeless, you could call me, that I would actually take offense to, because preppers, in my experience, vicarious as it may be, are a bunch of paranoid little twits hiding in their frickin' basement, calling it a bomb shelter of all fucking things, like it do any good in the first place. Stacking up on whatever latest trend happens to tell them is the best thing in said and said category. Morons. Anyway. The gear I carry, I've made a few mistakes, shit everyone does. Anyone who claims they didn't is either lying or they just hit a pole. I'm not sure which. Maybe both. But yeah, I don't know. Preppers, I had a friend of mine, a now unfortunately ex-friend of mine, who went that route. And what I've seen preppers do is hide and collect and hoard. They don't do a fucking thing. It's kind of sad, really. I pack for fucking bear. And like I said, those who know me know just how heavily I pack. My average payload with a bicycle is somewhere between 300 and 400 pounds, I found out the hard way. Kind of terrifying, actually. And when I'm carrying a pack, it's anywhere from 135 to 185 some odd pounds, maybe even verging closer to 200 when I'm not paying attention. My intent, I guess, is where the defining difference is. My intent is to have a decent home environment wherever I happen to stop. I don't care if it's 30 feet from the fucking highway. When I'm set up, I'm home. Kind of eliminates the whole homeless term, doesn't it? I'm not a survivalist, although some would argue otherwise. I just like having good quality gear. I mean, the gear I do have, yes, it's heavy, it's bulky. I carry wool blankets, for instance. There's wool blankets with a dog sound asleep. At least he's pretending really well. Anyway, as you've seen most of this video, there's the Frost River pack there, waxed canvas. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I carry for the sake of comfort when sleeping. as compared to those who like to be comfortable when they're walking. I got kind of distracted in my own video here. It's kind of embarrassing, but what I was trying to say earlier was there's two kinds of travelers. There's those who like to be comfortable when they're walking, and those who like to be comfortable when they're sleeping. I am most definitely the latter. I like going to sleep knowing I'll be warm, dry, and then I can fire up a pot of coffee or some food, depending on my luck and timing, without ever opening the door of my tent. More often than not, I've had to greet officers and or park rangers, forest rangers, whatever, with a cup in one hand and a smoke in the other. The look of bafflement on their face is kind of comical, but it also tends to soothe things over before it gets too weird, which I can't complain about either. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As many of you have long since discovered, preppers are unfortunately the second coming, as it were, of the survivalists back in the 90s. Unfortunately, some of those guys were actually a little bit more dedicated and made a mess of things for a lot of people that were otherwise just inclined to have good gear and go out in the woods periodically, go fucking around. And the preppers, fortunately, their pathetic aspect seems to belittle that by comparison, but they still have the same effect to a lot of people. Yeah, just, I guess this is a kind of long-winded, apparently 6.5 minute video, stating quite clearly that I am most definitely not a fucking prepper. I'm just equipped. That's all. Yeah, fuck it. I'll go ahead and post this on YouTube. Why not? But, by the way, signing off note here, if you are a prepper or some paranoid dipshit and you try and make a comment, I won't even bother reading it. I'll delete it and I'll block you. I just don't give a fuck. Have a good day.